Will YNW Melly still have the guts to smile as he usually does in court when he's served with a supposed death sentence? Well, we will never know, except that happens. However, the ever-smiling, locked-up rapper's trial might turn out ugly due to a new ruling in the state of Florida. Keep watching till the end of this video to see YNW Melly judge just made it easier for the jury to give the rapper a death sentence. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Before we get into the video, I want to give a quick shout out to the #1 celebrity jeweler, the Ice Champ. The Ice Champ is doing a special deal for the next 24 hours on diamond watches, chains, and more. Follow at the Ice Champ on Instagram now. YNW Melly's possible death sentence. There might be trouble in YNW Melly's paradise. While he has been enjoying his time behind bars since his arrest, he might be served with the longest hand of the law at the end of his trial. A death sentence. A judge in the YNW Melly case is not giving him any chance to redeem himself of his crimes, and he has made it simpler as the jury can now sentence the rapper to death if he is convicted of killing his two former friends. If Melly is convicted of first-degree murder, there's no way he wouldn't be sitting in the chair or getting the lethal injection verdict. The beginning of June wasn't good for YNW Melly as Broward Circuit Judge John Murphy granted a motion brought by state prosecutors. The motion asks the court to follow a new rule instituted in Florida that allows jurors to recommend the death penalty with an 8-4 vote for the rapper's upcoming trial. Previously, the 12 jurors were supposed to make a unanimous decision, in line with the requirement for a death sentence to be issued. Judge Murphy said afterward that the decision was not fundamentally unfair for Melly, nor would it violate his right to due process of the law. The rapper might be unlucky as he will be one of the first people in Florida to be punished under this new law. The new death penalty verdict was made after a jury granted the person responsible and convicted for the deaths of 17 people in the 2018 Parkland mass shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. While the jury had voted 9-3 to give Cruz the death penalty for the crime he committed, the judge couldn't bang his gavel on it, as he was unable to grant it because it wasn't unanimous. In April 2023, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was not going to watch any more killers just go live the rest of their lives in prison, so he signed the 8-4 vote to recommend a death sentence law, which made it the lowest threshold for death penalty convictions in the U.S. Once a defendant in a capital case is found guilty by a unanimous jury, one juror should not be able to veto a capital sentence, the governor said. Judge John Murphy is not about to waste any time on allowing more killers to escape the death penalty. He granted state prosecutors' motion to use the new law in the sentencing of rapper YNW Melly, whose trial is set to begin on June 20th, 2023. This is not one of the things his mother would be proud of, but the same cannot be said for YNW Melly. The rapper already had a prior death penalty ruling. This started in April 2019, not long after his arrest. The victims' families were ready for blood revenge, but it was dropped in 2022. Opening statements are expected to kick off on the 20th of June, 2023. As the trial date keeps closing in, YNW Melly's mother has a tough time as she doesn't know if her dear son will end up in prison for life or if he'll lose his life. But a mother would rarely accept her son as a killer, prompting Melly's mother to share a touching letter her son had written to her behind bars. "So glad I seen y'all. I hope y'all seen me. I know y'all did right when you went screaming, 'I see him. They made you leave,' annoyed face. I'm so glad I seen you, ma. I love you so much. Tell Grandma and Silas I love them and appreciate them so much. It was good to see them as well." One would think YNW Melly isn't capable of loving his family this deeply, but he does. He continued in his letter saying, "Dang, B-Slime still looked tall from way down there, lol. You looked so small, LMAO, jumping up and down when you seen me. I seen your smile from way up here. Lit the whole jail up." YNW Melly concluded his heartfelt letter as he praised his mom and gave her hope of him coming back home. He wrote, "Even though they tried to make it the worst, still, you found a way to make it the best. I love you, ma. I'ma give you the world, Pluto and Mars when I get out. What you want the most, too, lol." The rapper's mom wrote, I will always be here to make your darkest nights bright, even if I have to bring the light to you, son," as the post caption. She then ended it with how much she loves him and tagged the rapper. "I love you at YNW Melly so much, my firstborn." YNW Mellys Run-ins with the law. YNW Mellys' arrest for murdering his friends wouldn't be the first time he would be charged with a crime. He sees himself as a troublemaker and would go to any length to prove it. On October 19th, 2015, the then 16-year-old Melly was charged with 3 accounts of aggravated assault and 1 count of discharging a firearm in public. He had allegedly fired a gun toward 3 other students near the high school he attended. Melly saw it as a blessing, as he mentioned he got the inspiration for Murder on My Mind when he was locked up. "I woke up and I had that chorus." No one really understood what was happening about the rapper's arrest in 2017, but he shed more light on the situation in an interview shortly before he got arrested in 2019. The rapper explained that prosecutors had used "Murder on My Mind" against him. "Basically, I was on probation," he said. "I'm off that now. I put out Murder on My Mind. I was out for about 7 months, but I was in and out of jail at that point. I probably went to jail at least 6 or 7 times then. It was just for a little too." Apparently, Melly isn't new to the game, but a murder charge is a whole new level. YNW Melly's most recent arrest. YNW Melly's final arrest without bond came not long after he dropped his viral hit, Murder on My Mind. But unfortunately, his famous name was short-lived. Melly got arrested due to his connection with his friend's murder on February 13th, 2019. The 2 friends, or better still, murder victims, were YNW Sack Chaser, Chris Thomas, and YNW Juvie, Chris Anthony Williams. YNW Melly's arrest was made after a 5-month investigation had been carried out on the case. On the night Melly's 2 friends were murdered, his co-conspirator YNW Bortlin reportedly drove Williams and Thomas to the Memorial Hospital in Miramar at around 4:25 a.m. YNW Bortlin mentioned at the hospital that the 2 individuals were shot in a drive-by shooting incident and the killers' identities were unknown. However, after the investigation, YNW Melly was found to be responsible for the death of his 2 friends. Shortly after that, YNW Melly and YNW Bortlin were both arrested for the crime. Melly had just begun a concert tour across the US for his viral hit, Murder on My Mind, when he was arrested. That's the end of today's video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more content. Also, don't forget to smash that like button and leave a comment down below. Thanks.